Welcome to the quick walkthrough of Sprucely, which is an app that we've recently launched that allows both property investors, real estate agents, and any kind of property professional to create listings that will amazingly stand out using the power of AI, from automatic lighting, virtual renovations, changing angles of images, changing the time of day. It could be nighttime, twilight, a sunset, sky, replacements, etc., removing clutter, that sort of thing, and also creating an amazing advertising listing or marketing copy for their particular listings themselves. And then they can actually export that as a PDF or actually have a ready shared link to show to clients and potential investors, etc. I'm going to get started now in the dashboard. So once you actually have a few credits to start, you can start for free with Sprucely. And I'm going to actually just create a new listing at this point. Now, in the new listing area, we're just going to type in a particular suburb. Let's just type in Sydney. Again, it's connected to any address that you like. Moving on, listing type for sale. In this case, you can actually choose for rent or for lease. If you choose for rent, for example, it'll change around the data down below for you to actually input that particular data for rent. I'm going to choose for sale. Property type, very important. So you can actually do apartment, townhouse, and a whole lot of bunches of other stuff. You could do commercial, land. Interestingly enough, if you choose land, you could even have the app visualize a property on that particular land as well, things like that, but we'll get into that soon. So I'm going to choose house for now. Now, a single property, a single price or price range you could choose. I'm just going to go with price range. I'm going to choose like 1.1. Let's just go. And moving on. Specifications are optional, of course, but it's good to have specs because it sort of adds into the listing later on when it's been created. So let's just put land size. I put 430, 240 for internal size, and then year built. I don't know, you could put whatever, put 1996, or could be a new build, brand new. It doesn't really matter. Additional features are very important. So if you've got a swimming pool, granny flat, if you have something very unique about the property, it could be it could be a music studio in the back or something like that. It's good to actually add those in because that will actually allow the AI to generate an amazing listing later on an amazing copy later on with the marketing, because it actually puts that into the content as well, and it really reads all that. So very important. So I'm going to actually create the listing now. So once that's created, the next stage is just go to photos. We're going to upload the first photo, and this is just going to be the the facade outside. And this is straight from a listing. There's no enhancements done to this particular image at all. It's just, very, very normal. Okay, you can see the grass is a little bit unkept there, etc., etc. So what we do first is you've got a few options. So you can duplicate, which is what I'll show you soon, enhance, and then delete. So what I'll do first is enhance this particular image. And look, the most common option here is professional polish. It just sort of gives a nice, it cleans everything up, makes it look nice, does away with any sort of cluttering, things like that. Now, if you do have other more specific options, so lighting only, if you want to sort of just focus on the light, decluttering, if you just want to declutter it, and that is it. Virtual staging is amazing for internal spaces. So you can actually have an empty room, and if it's something that you want to sort of show off some furniture in there to a potential client or investor, you can actually have virtual staging there. Enhancement intensity is really just up to, I usually leave it in the middle at 50%. It's a nice sort of area to be in. If you want to sort of push the boundaries, you can actually go right to the end and sort of see what the system can produce. And then down below, you've got a whole lot of different options as well. So you can actually add staging to the professional polish, which you don't really need to, but it's there. You can actually convert it to nighttime or twilight, etc., etc. So I'm going to leave it now as just the professional polish and then move on from there. So press enhancement on that. It's going to now analyze the image and use the internal engine, the AI engine, and also all the prompting that we've also coded the app with to come up with an amazing scene that is pretty much listing ready and then we can go from there. So it's just finalizing that. It only takes a few seconds to do this. So and there it is. So we've got what it's done is basically just enhanced the exterior of the property. Again, look, I mean, this is really just to show potential buyers what can be done. And this is, in this case, for a sort of it's not really unrenovated, but it's sort of like just an original kind of property. So you can sort of show them the potential with this property in this way. If it's a new house, look, you could do a lot more other stuff with it as well. You could sort of change obviously the time of day. You want a nice nighttime setting. Maybe you couldn't get the photographer out in time. Maybe the photographer's too expensive. So there's so many ways you can actually use this app in your own way. Now, what I'll do next is pretty much click on the duplicate button because I want to now work on this image in a different way. So if I click on enhance again, and let's just say I want to add so you've got your quick enhancements. I've gone through that. Now, renovations is the next stage up. So renovations allow you to visualize the entire building in a different facade or completely different style. We can actually, well, for starters, space type. So obviously in this case, it's exterior, and then renovation style. So we can actually have like a completely modern look of the property. And again, this is brilliant for investors and developers, etc. So let's just say I wanted to do that. And I wanted to now apply that enhancement on this particular image. Now, again, it's going to run through the same process of analyzing the image. And we're going to have something that obviously modernizes the property. And this is extremely modern, mind you, so it's very modern, but it retains the existing structure. That's the beauty of this particular app. So it won't sort of just create something randomly, okay? So it's almost there. And then you just got to give it a few seconds to just click in. Right, so it just sort of embeds. There you go. So, so as you can see, it looks incredible there. I think we can have asked the developers to actually add a little zoom button on here just to sort of open that up a bit, because you can do it later on, but not on this screen, unfortunately. So, but you know, massive opportunities there to actually show potential developers on how the property can potentially become after renovating, and that could be. That could be the difference between, a buyer who's sort of on the sideline and someone who sort of says, yep, I'd love to go ahead with this because I can see the potential. I mean, if that does that, then fantastic. So moving along, so we can also add another duplicate, for example, here, and then we can work on that one as well, for example. So we can actually go to now advanced, which is the third stage of enhancements. And we've got, for example, the change angle, viewing angle. So, and again, this is really, I mean, you might have to do it a few times to get it right, but at the end of the day, let's just say I chose ground level dramatic view, okay? I'm going to click on that. It's going to now enter that into the engine. So it's enhancing, and should have something very soon. And again, it just takes a few seconds. And the amazing thing about AI tech nowadays is it's so quick, and we use particular engines that are very fast. Okay, so here we go. So there you go. So it's got like a ground type view, maybe not as dramatic as some would want. So you could sort of then go restore, and the restore button just pretty much takes it back to the previous image there. And, and then you could sort of maybe try a aerial perspective, so that can at times be very interesting and very amazing. Sometimes it's sort of the AI, because in this particular image, you can't really see the right-hand side neighbor, or it's left-hand side, whatever way you want to sort of see it. But it sometimes it doesn't render that particular area well, so it just comes up with whatever it thinks is there. But sometimes it's really good. So that's an area view. So that's a little better. It's a bit of an area. It's not really high, but you might just want a different angle, So that's pretty cool. And given that you don't have to have a photographer there on site paying all this big money, you could do this from the comfort of your own office or at home. And go from there. Now so let's just say we want to upload another image. So we're going to do a internal, which is very exciting. So let's just say I sort of upload this. I press on upload. It's going to upload that particular image. Now again, this is a very common type of photo. There's so much you can do with this photo. I mean, if it's an empty room, it's an empty room. But what if you wanted to stage this particular room to a particular buyer, investor, renter, etc. So what you could do is you can click on the enhance again, go forth. And now what we're doing now is we're not clicking on the professional polish. We're going to click on virtual staging. Okay, and again, we'll leave it at 50%. I don't need to sort of touch anything else here. And I'm going to actually click on enhancements. Now, if I wanted a particular type of furniture, I could do that by basically going to the advanced setting and clicking on custom. However, I will keep it as just virtual staging. Click on apply enhancement. So, and we will see what happens. So it's going to more or less furnish the room in a way that it feels the room deserves. So if it's sort of, what I mean is, if it's a modern looking room, it's going to put in modern furniture, etc. So sort of, it's quite smart that way. So we're just waiting now until there you go. So that's staged with a beautiful bed. I'm assuming it's a queen. It could be a king. And then you've got all the other parts, pieces. You've got a plan, you've got a painting. Amazing. Like, it looks fantastic. And this is something that, again, looks much nicer than showing off a plain ordinary room. Okay. So that could be a part of what you show the potential client. Again, this is just all staging. So you don't have to buy furniture or rent furniture, from a staging company. You could do it all in-house with this app. So moving forward, now you can actually go further again. You can actually click on enhance again and click on professional polish. And even if you want to up it a bit more and just make it look even better, you can, and just play around as much as you want. So lots to do there. You can even convert to a nighttime scene as well, that same image. But again, for the purpose of the video, I was just showing you basically the basics. So the third stage of the enhancement process for Sprucely is the marketing copy, which is really, really fun, really cool. So the first thing is the tone. So who are we actually selling this to? Are we selling it to a family-friendly? What is the tone family-friendly? Is it an investment, luxury, or is it professional? Look, if I went for family-friendly, for example, I click on generate. It's going to generate a family-friendly copy. So give it a few seconds. And there we are. So family bliss awaits in Australia. Hope your dream home found. I mean, look, again, you can actually edit this as well. At this stage, look, the developers are going to add an actual editor in here. I mean, so you'd have to literally just generate another one, but ultimately it creates a short description, long description, key features about the property itself, and social media caption, which is really awesome. So you can actually copy and paste this into Facebook, Instagram, that sort of thing. So, and then let's just say we wanted a different audience or a different tone. We could actually do like an investment, and we can sort of, and just one more thing. So obviously notice all this info in here, that is translated really from all the details that you provide the system at the beginning. So if you don't have that many details here, it's going to really rough it a bit in terms of, well, I won't say, it's a bit of guessing sometimes, but so this is why it's so important to add as many details here as you can. But moving on, let's just say we wanted an investment. So we're looking for an investor for this property. Let's click on generate, wait a few seconds, and it's going to create an investment version. So invest in your future, high yield free bed home in Sydney. So secure your financial position, So seize the prime investment. I mean, you could copy and paste this right out. I mean, or you could sort of copy, paste, and then sort of tweak it a bit if you wanted to yourself, of course, because obviously there's certain, details that you want to sort of add in. Key features again, referring more so for an investor than just a family-friendly situation. Now, if I wanted this to be the default, because when I actually create a PDF, which is the last step, you can either choose to have the family one as the default in this case. So that's the one that shows up on the PDF and as a shared sort of link, or you can have the investor one. So if I wanted the investor one, for example, I just click on the set as default. So now that's set as default. And the last step, or the second last step actually, is export as PDF. So I can click on that. It's going to now create a really nice PDF of the property. As you can see, scroll down, there's a few stats, overview, description, key features, there's the capture for media, and then you've got the actual photo gallery, you've got the original photos. Now, the thing is, the team's going to be changing these around, like, we don't really want to say original photos, enhanced variations, but the whole point is just to show you what this potentially can do at this stage. It is the first version of the app. And then down below, you've got some agent information, and I'll show you how that's actually added, which is really cool. So this is basically the printable version of the link, or the actual listing. However, when we go to details itself and we scroll down the bottom, you'll notice there's a publishing section. Now, this is actually to create an actual shareable link of the property, which is really cool because you actually use this link to share, to clients, to investors, developers. You can actually paste it into ads, listings, that sort of thing, reestate.com.au, Gumtree, where you actually place a property listing. Let's just say in this case, we're going to go to published because we want to publish it as a listing. So it publishes, it creates an actual link, but do remember to click on save changes, otherwise the link won't work. So once you save, it's going to pop up with this link. So press OK or copy, that copies it. Now I'm going to show you what this looks like. I'm going to paste it in and go to this particular address. There it is there. Nice. So it looks really nice. And this is a shareable link, so you can actually send this to anybody you like. It's really well laid out. You can actually click on the images now in this case because there is a lightbox, and you can actually see now the images in a large format. It looks quite nice. Again, you can actually show then what can potentially be done with the property. Moving forward, there's the elevator that we did. There's the bedroom, etc. So, and then moving down here, if we are interested in this property, we click on contact agent. And you've got a little pop-up that pops up with the agent details, which is really cool. So you can actually visit the website, email them directly from here, or call using the link. And you've got a little thing down the bottom where you can actually add your license as well, which is really cool. Now, adding this information here is done in your account settings. So if we go to account settings, you can actually see the agent profile at the top. And that's where we actually add in a lot of those details. Of course, all these are pretty much fake, but obviously for purposes of the demo, but you can actually add your own license agent details in here. Go back to dashboard and you shall see the listing that you've created here. Because we've actually published it as a link, you can actually see it saying published, and it'll actually have a view button. If it's not published yet, it won't have it'll just say draft, and it won't have a view link, of course. So obviously if you've published it, it'll say view, and it'll take you directly to the actual shared link page. And obviously you can edit at any point, and whatever you do here in terms of editing will automatically reflect on the shared link and the PDF output. So that's Sprucely for you, and I hope you enjoyed that run through or that walkthrough, and really excited for you all to try it. Again, it is free of charge, up to 5 listings. So the way it works is we would have so in this case, we're on the free setting, but obviously we've added a whole bunch of credits because we're admin. But on the free pack, you get 5 credits, which means 5 whole listings. Starter pack, you can actually then add an extra $10 and get 10 listings. And then the pro pack, $20 and 25 listings. Again, we're thinking of doing a subscription down the track, but for now, look, I mean, it's just, that's where we are at this point in terms of credits. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Please feel free to try Sprucely out. Give it a go, try it in many different ways, and give us some feedback. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.